Hey guys, you're watching C1 and Only. My name is AJ. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Build a City. For the last couple of episodes, we've been working on the airport. Today is going to be the last episode that we work on the airport for a little bit. Because it's such a big project, I don't want to spend 10 or 12 episodes in a row doing it. So we're going to do a little bit today and then come away for a few episodes, build something else, and then keep coming back and keep updating it. We've built the sort of main terminal block to our airport, and now that we've got that in, it's given us a good idea on scale and size of other buildings that we're going to need. Now, I've been sitting here for a couple minutes and just thinking about a rough idea on the length of certain things. And the runway is actually going to have to be a lot longer than I thought. I've got the biggest plane that I would like to use, if possible, in my hotbar here. And if I put him down where he should park, which should be right here, book. As you can see, now, this is a huge model plane. It's absolutely massive, but as you can see, it goes right to that mountain, which isn't a problem because we said we were going to smooth that out anyway, but it means that we actually need a lot more room than we thought for the runway, because obviously if a plane is that long, you can imagine how long the runway is going to be. So here's the plan. I want a building coming off the edge of this side of the terminal, and I want it coming down to around here and then back. So obviously all the mountains will have to come out a little bit. All really cool terraforming and working it out and blending it all in nicely. One of my favourite parts to Minecraft. So it comes out here. Then in this section here, because this is all going to be sort of inside the airport now, I want to have 2, potentially 3, depending on how many we can fit in, helipads. I would like 2 is minimum, with 1 helicopter on one and 1 blank one so you can land on it. If not, 3 would be cool as well, with maybe 2 helicopters and 1 blank one. So that'll come out. I then need to flatten off this mountain over here, which would be totally awesome because you're going to go through a tunnel underneath the airport to get up to that section. That's a really cool thing. So it'll be sort of flattened out here, and all of this will be stone, so the planes can somewhat sort of maneuver and turn around. Depending, I don't know yet on scale, but depending on scale, I might be able to fit a couple of hangars over here. That leaves off the edge of the mountain on the other side, which again, we always knew that we were going to have to terraform anyway. It's great fun making a map like I did using the World Painter tool, but it's not very easy to judge size and scale with it. So it'll have to come out quite a fair way, but with the world edit, it doesn't really take long to do. But what I want to have is, I want to have a slight L-shaped building off this side. So it's going to come off here, sort of the same as the other side, but instead of coming straight down, it's going to wrap around this way. So it's going to go up to about there. Okay, so you sort of get this sort of L shape of the whole thing. All 3 of the modules put together will make a giant L. That leaves this line down here on the very back side of the island for the runway, which is such a cool idea because it means that when you're landing, you have nothing in the way, and when you're taking off, you have very little in the way as well. So you land this way. Probably around where I'm standing now is where the runway is going to be below us. I would also like potentially a taxiway coming around, so the taxiway sort of comes off where that plane is parked, comes down here, in between the building and the runway, and then out. It does, though, use up a tremendous amount of room. If you look at a full-size airport in real life, they're massive, they're absolutely huge, and we're trying to condense it down into Minecraft, and there's really not a lot of room. My chair is locked. That's better. I can now bounce about. It's a huge plane, and the wingspan is absolutely massive. I'll try my best to compensate for that, but I don't want this airport being just ginormously huge for no reason. So maybe, how about this for an idea? We scrap the building off this side, and instead we put a fence down. That leaves us more room for the taxiway and the runway, and off the other side we have the building go straight like we said, and then curve around to the right. Yeah, that could work. And then with the road here, with the car park, what I'm going to do is, instead of having the curve that comes around here currently, the road's going to go straight up and carry on this way, And then this is all going to be the car park here, and we can have a nice sort of smaller road, one-way system that sort of wraps around the front of the airport and then joins back up again. Load of car parking spots in the middle. I could even go that way as well and have some car parking spots over there. Things like bus stations, bus stops and things like that would also be very, very helpful. I might even, instead of doing a giant sort of flat car park, do a bit more of a multi-story car park that you find a lot around airports. So let's grab ourselves some white or a different block. I was thinking about something like a sandstone block, surprisingly enough. A little bit more yellow, a little bit more of a different color. I'm gonna try it. If I don't like it, I can always change the texture of the smooth stone to something that I would sort of more prefer. But we've got all of this white here. We don't want the whole building being white. We would like something else. But I don't like the line that comes down here. I like the line that goes across the top. I don't like the line that goes down here. I could retexture it, but if there's another block that we could use, I mean, the clay could work really well, so will this mossy stone. I think the mossy stone will actually be better. So, we're going to drag out this way. I don't know how many blocks. I want it to come out at least a decent amount, because I want the helipads to be in there. I mean, that's sort of a minimum length. And we'll want to come out this side as well. It does sort of ruin our nice pattern that we sort of had on the side here. But to be honest, it's not really that detailed. It's a little bit blank, so I'm not really that worried or that upset about changing it. It was an initial idea, but ideas always expand, and that's the best part of it. So, we come out to around there. See, that's really nice. It's not quite long enough for my liking, though. I'm going to come out like a few more blocks. I'm going to come out to there and then end this building off. Obviously, there's a lot of terraforming that we need to do, but it's really no bother. It's really no problem. Okay, beautiful. Then we want the helipads. I want to sort of have an idea of where they're going to go. So let's just get rid of this mound here. From there to here. Get rid. Oops, I had caps lock on. 2 slashes. There we go. Oh, I forgot the top one. And the one above that one. Okay, that got rid of all that. That's given us sort of a bit of a clean area here for us to build some helipads. Now, if I want to do a building coming down this side, I'm also going to have to take that into account. And I think I do. So the helipads here should work out quite well. I can't remember what the size of the helipad that we want. But let's do a cylinder of stone. Stone? Yeah. A cylinder of stone. Diameter of, I don't know, let's say 7 for the moment. And a height of, oops. Undo, I don't know, height of 18. I want a height of 1. It's nearly big enough. I don't think it's quite big enough, though. So let's go up to 10. Beautiful. I think that's a much sort of more realistic size for a helipad. It might even be a little bit too big, but going too big is probably the least concerning thing. Going too small is where your problems lie. So we'll do another one right there. So we've got our 2 helipads in that we wanted. I could probably fit another one in there, but I think it might be a little bit too tight. Let's do the other building now that comes down the side here. We've got plenty of room behind these helipads, so I could probably go about here, which is a nice width for another module. I think as far as interiors and accessibility goes, I'll probably make the main terminal room, the one with all the glass, accessible, because what's the point of having all those glass windows that big when you can't go inside of it? That makes no sense. So we can furnish out the interior of that, put some metal detectors in, maybe do some cool other stuff there. But then these other side modules, I think, are just going to be for show. I think this will be this place where the baggage would be sorted out, and all that sort of behind the scenes type stuff that you don't really see when you go to an airport. we can probably do customs and immigration and security and stuff like that inside that terminal. I won't be able to do a full mall like I did a long time ago, a couple of years ago when I built an airport. I done a whole mall inside it. It was that big. This definitely hasn't got the size for it, and I don't want to make it any bigger. I don't think it'll benefit us building it any bigger. So let's now come out this side and work out how wide we would need a taxiway to be for a plane of that size to pass between these buildings without getting in the way. I don't know how wide this is going to have to be. It's going to have to be pretty wide though. So let's just go out to there for the moment, and I'm going to place down the giant plane. Grab the giant plane. I'm going to place it down right here. I don't know if it's going to stay on. It might stay on. That would, right there, would leave us enough room between this terminal. It's close. I'm not saying there's a lot of room, but it could pass between there with no problem without hitting it. We've got about 5 or 6 blocks to spare, which would be nice. That means that we could get like a nice sort of fence that runs down the side here, blocking it all off. Nice iron bar fence. I still need to retexture those. That means that we can get some stone now. Some stone and work out exactly sort of how wide we want this to be. Let's go from there, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, including, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that one. So from there to there will all be the taxiway with a nice yellow line going down the middle. Now, we can go pretty much as far as we want here in that direction. There's nothing really that we need to worry about hitting into because it's all ocean and sort of a fake beach that I put in for some reason. I just thought it would be nice to have some sort of sand there. So let's extend this out. Is there any way that I can do this quickly? There probably is. I could probably go from here all the way to over here and down on the ground, because it's going to be terraformed anyway. We've got all these holes. I need to fix all these holes. This is what World Paint had done originally. Ooh, I'm stuck. Okay, so that's given us sort of half a length of how far we'd sort of have. In fact, it gives us a good length of how long this runway is going to have to be. Let's say the runway started a little bit longer than what it is currently. So let's go from here to there. I'm stuck inside it. Let me out. Let's say it starts from there, which is a pretty good amount. So the taxiway sort of comes round, it curves around this way, and then we have the runway over here. Now we're going to have make sure that we have enough room for the taxiway to not clip wings with the runway. That's very important. And we also need to make sure that we've got enough room that the plane has enough time to turn. We can't do a sharp turn with these planes. They're very, very big. So let's come out this way quite a fair bit. This is so cool. We're also making the island bigger, which nobody can complain about. Okay, that should be plenty enough room. And then the runway, let's put this plane down here. Again, it shouldn't fall because I think that's the sort of only block that matters, where you place it. And if I back off this way and sort of get my eye in line with the wing, I think we can clearly see that that's the end of the taxiway. This is the end of the wing. That's a nice amount of room in the middle. We could have a really nice wide runway. The runway doesn't necessarily have to be wider than the wings. It would be nice to sort of be around that number though. I know real runways would probably be plenty wider than the wings. In fact, let's go to the edge of the wing. Let's go 1 block, 2 blocks wide. Let's go to here. Still plenty of room between the runway and the taxiway when we're putting into account that the runway is bigger than the wing itself. And count out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Middle block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Is that what I said? It looks pretty close. Did I say 16? I think I did. 1, 2, Let's go above. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so we've got the width of the runway, and this is the start of the runway, so we're going to have to go that way now. I think probably the best way would be to do this line that we've currently got here, instead of building all this out at the moment. I think we'll sort of keep it with thinner lines. We'll fill it in towards the end. So you start to see on the map how wide that area is going to have to be alone. I'm actually quite surprised that I thought it would fit in there originally. I was very, very wrong. Very, very wrong on my scaling. So let's go this way. Make a very nice long runway. We've got we've got like at least up to here, because that's where that plane is, but that plane isn't going to be able to turn around. So the runway can easily be larger than that without sort of looking in the way or out of place. So we'll put that in here. Now that's a pretty decent length runway. We can't even see the other end of the runway, and I'm hoping that that's plenty big enough now for us to be able to take off with. There is only one way to find out. Let's extend out this line on this side. At least the sort of 40 odd blocks that we need to go. I'm going to keep going just for the sake of it, because I don't exactly know where it was. Now let's go over back to the other side again. I should have set a waypoint at the other end of the runway so I could teleport there, because I can't fly fast like I can on the adventure map and stuff like that. Beautiful looking texture as well. I can even make my own textures for it if we wanted to. We could have like our own Zono airline textures and stuff. That would be pretty funny. I don't know if they come in different... Did they come in different textures? That's got Delta written on it, and that one's got what looks like jail written on it. That's pretty cool. So there are different ones. So let's go from here. And then I'm going to try and get in line with this one. And try and keep on this line. I'm going to try and keep my eyes locked on the line that my cursor is on at the moment. It goes into the water. Even deeper into the water. Bloop. Up this side, just to try and get it in line first time. If I don't, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm still in line. I haven't like moved my mouse off that block. Should be to there. Set to stone. It's 12,000 blocks at once. It's an awful lot of blocks, but it should give us, bang, a runway in. I'm expecting a giant lag spike to happen any moment as it eventually does it. While we're waiting, we can go to the other side where the plane is. And if I can take off on that runway, it's big enough. If we can take off on it, that means that we can land on it. At the moment, we're not even loading other parts of the world. I might have to hold on a minute and log out of the world and log back in. That's a lot of blocks to do at once. It was like 12,000 something blocks. Oh! The lag spike is here. Thank I've got a big enough computer to be able to take that kind of thing, because this is a very harsh amount of work the computer's trying to do at once. I'm surprised it's still recording, actually. I'll be back once it fixes itself. It looks like it's just triggered it. It's done it. That's a good sign. So let's see if it is long enough for us to take off on. It's going to be close. This is one of the planes that take the longest to take off. So if we can with this one, we should be able to with any of the other ones. We need to remember that the plane doesn't start with one wheel on the edge. The plane's going to start with its whole thing on the edge. That's about right of where the taxiway would come round to. So let's give it a go. Let's jump inside. I don't remember which seat I actually need. This is the one. Okay, get ready. Come on the outside. Oops, let me come out here. Oh, we are taking off. Yeah, look at that. With a little bit room to spare. That's pretty good. Now, you can't like pitch up and down in this camera angle, but otherwise you get locked like this. Or, oh, I could go out further. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, beautiful. You can page up and page down to log in and out. Now, I am definitely not... I'm using the map to find out where I am. I'm definitely not the best pilot in Minecraft. In fact, I'm going to be lost. This plane is so big, and I have no idea where I am. I think I got a feeling that I need to head sort of southwest. I'm going to throttle down a little bit. There's the world coming back into view. I don't know how high I am. No, I'm going away again. I'm just using my mouse in the mini-map. It's like a little GPS. Oh, there's the runway. Oh, we're too low. We're too low. It was a good attempt. Let's try and do a bigger sweep, a bigger turn, instead of trying to curve ourselves around in such a small area. Inside is quite good though. If we go inside the cockpit here, we've got our altimeter, I think, somewhere about how high we are. We should have. Oh yeah, we're 102 blocks, 100 blocks above the surface. We don't really want to go too low. And we've got our, on the right there, we've got sort of what angle we're at. My dad would know, he's a big space plane guy. I'm not too sure. And then the 100 out of 100 is fuel, but because we're in creative mode, we don't actually use up any fuel. That's really hard to fly in that angle though. It's much easier to use the mini-map. So we're going to follow the edge of the mountain around, throttle down a little bit. The runway should be here somewhere. Or am I too high? Oh, I'm too high. No! I need the world to load up faster than it does, really. That's my computer's bad, that is. Oh, I missed it. Oh no, I did land on it. Okay, well, I consider that... Brake, 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 brake. No! I consider that a semi-successful landing. We definitely know that it's big enough now to take off on, which means it's big enough to land on. We could extend it a little bit further if we wanted to. It probably wouldn't be a terrible idea to extend it, even if it was only the runway that was extended. We do really want a taxiway to come back round, and the taxiway would be pretty... No, I reckon we can. I reckon we can go a little bit longer with the runway. Let's make this go a little bit longer. I would love to see this. I'm going to have to update my overviewer. You remember when... I don't think I've showed you since I done the tutorial on it. Have I done... I don't think I've done a tutorial on overviewer yet. I need to do that. I think I showed you, though, way back when before the series started, in fact, the map overview from the top using a program called Overviewer. Very cool program. Oops. There. Oh, it already is. A very cool program that sees a sort of isometric view of the map. I haven't updated it in a while. It would be really cool to sort of see that kind of thing. I think it's the shadow which is causing it to take so long to do that. Oh, we're doing it already. Beautiful. At least it didn't take too long for the lag spike. It was only a couple of 1,000 blocks that I done then. But beautiful. That means the taxiway can then come off the other side and wrap round onto the runway, and giving us this giant amount of room in the middle here to be able to sort of do a little bit of work. And now I think we're getting low on time for the episode, so I'm actually going to cut away because I don't want to end it there. I want to sort of get a few more lines in using the world to give us a better idea on how it's going to look. So I shall be back. Okay, it's now starting to look more like an airport. Now we're getting rid of all these mounds and obstacles. We're starting to get something that is actually pretty decent. So I'm just sort of doing the last bit that I'm going to do for now. I'm going to get rid of all of this mountain here. Everything looks a little bit harsh at the moment. Everything will all be smoothing together. Believe me, I don't want any like half mountains cut off or anything silly like that. But, you know, like this, it will all be smoothed off. I'm just giving us a nice blank slate to be able to then build easily with. So let's go from here, set that to grass, over here, get rid of all of this dirt and stone. I might also lighten up the stone block. The stone block is what we're using for all the roads in the world. And it doesn't look bad being this sort of darker black that we have. But the runway being that dark... I think that's an awful lot of dark blocks that we're going to have around here. Unless we use another block that is sort of somewhat stone-like. Obviously, the normal smoothie sort of moss one is too clean. There's no texture to it. We do want some sort of bumps and stuff like that. Nether brick is probably a pretty good option for us. Even if we use the runway and the taxiway as the dark stone, and then use for the other taxiways, but then anywhere in between that we don't want grass, we use andesite with. That could work really well. That would look really decent. I know it says nether brick, but if you've been following the series, you'll know why. That would look a lot better, because then we don't have grass in between it. We don't have masses of stone. At the moment, it looks very sort of giant stone areas because we don't have any white lines or any markings on any of the areas. Once we put markings on it, you'll be surprised how much it'll condense it. But yeah, this is going to be where the car park is. Obviously, this will be removed here. Give us a huge, decent-sized car park for buses and trees, and really dress it up beautifully up here. A nice fence going down the side, even with a couple of buildings. We might even be able to fit a building down here now that we've got this space for a car park. And then a little run down the front here for coaches and coaches and taxis and stuff like that to drop off right near the airport terminal. We're gonna have to have an area with some fire engines and all that kind of stuff around the airport. It's going to be really, really fun, but I think I'm going to leave it there for this episode and for the next few episodes, because I'm going to want to just break away, do something else for a little bit, keep ideas fresh in your head. We definitely have some really decent sized, a really decent sized airport though now. Realistic-ish size, realistic lengths, with room to expand upon if we need to. If you guys enjoyed the episode, hit that like button. If you haven't already, then feel free to subscribe. Off camera, I'll probably just terraform up the edge here, ready for the next airport episode that we do. So it all sort of blends in to the mountain rather than sticking out. I'll get rid of all of these sort of weird mounds that we have as well. Okay, sounds good.